Welcome to the Cafe Nutty Show. I'm your host, the Goldsmith. It is the 29th of May, 2024, and we are headed and rolling down the hill to Genesis Week 2024. Genesis Live, we do have some more announcements to come. They aren't hit the ground just yet, so keep your eyes out for the rest of the week. But what we do have for now is getting started for Genesis season, all of the things that we expect. Now that we are in a third season, now that we actually had this run up, we've had Frost season, we've gotten through Blossom season. No flowers in blossom season, by the way, or not no real appreciable ones. But getting into Genesis season, this being a little bit different, Upland's already said they want to make this season special because it is Genesis season. So keep your eyes out for what is going to be around the corner when it comes to the cosmetics, what's going to be around the corner when it comes to the contests that are going to be built into Genesis Week, and not just for the live event, but also while you are keeping up at home. And we got some drops here for what we are looking at for the gamified earnings for this month or for the season, and there's some changes, so we'll get into those. Obviously, gamified earnings, the tasks have been announced as of today. The ornaments, the contest has been announced as of today, and just some heads up on that. And of course, keep in mind that technically speaking, Genesis Week is going to be next Monday, or start next Monday as far as most contests, at least historically. But Genesis season starts on the 1st, always the 1st of that month that is it starts in, which means our Genesis season is going to start on a Saturday. So keep an eye out on that. We'll get some reminders hopefully between now and Saturday. We'll look at a couple things between now and Saturday, but for tonight, we already do have a few announcements, some of the things that are going to guide us through the Genesis season, or at least getting ready for it. So the kickoff here, obviously, let's get the disclaimer out of the way. I'll be using opinions expressed by myself, they're mine and mine alone. Should be taken as game strategy or financial advice that will represent the game or the team of Upland. Any guests or contributors who we do have on, they are entitled to their own opinion. I'm glad they have them. Shouldn't be taken as game strategy advice. Should it be taken as financial advice? They don't represent the game of Upland, the team of Upland, or myself, the Goldsmith of the Cafe Nightly Show. With that, let's take a look. We got a couple different announcements to get through. On those announcements, the majority of which are relatively wordy, but we can skip through a couple of them with the caveat. We have some big details or notes to put in. At least get through and make sure we know what our tasks are going to be for Genesis Week or Genesis season, and know that there's more announcements to come this week, so be ready for those as they come this week as well. Thursday, Friday, we'll keep our eyes out, and I'm sure we'll have plenty to take a look at tomorrow and Friday. For today, let's start with the gamified earnings. We'll come back around, turn back around, see some more later on here. But Genesis season, new gamified earnings missions from June the 1st until July the 15th. Embark on the thrilling adventure that is Upland's Genesis season. Again, we've had the hint. We've been told. X1's told me directly. X1's told other people directly in interviews, and we talked about Genesis season and how does this tie and what does this look like and how does it relate to other seasons. More, bigger, better. That's kind of the theory here is Upland's trying to do more and more with these seasons, but also it's a special season, special time of the year in Upland. Kicking off at 9 a.m. PT on the 1st of June. Here's some detailed list of missions. Again, there's some interesting missions to note here that are different than our previous set. We're going to see these continue to change over time to help expand people's gameplay, to help Upland put focus on individual parts of the game that may not be getting the focus that Upland wants them to get. So let's take a look. A lot of the same things, some new ones. Daily dedication, log in for at least 25 days during the season to show your commitment to Upland. Again, this does not have to be consecutive. Consecutive connection. This is number 2. This is consecutive, obviously. Maintain a login streak of 7 days straight. And what we've learned about this in the past, that means 7 days straight. They're keeping track of the start of the login. So if your login bonus starts on the 3rd and you start on the 1st, look at that calculating likely to happen from the 3rd to the end of that 7-day streak, at least for the first capture of that. And there has been some review and some alterations, but try to get a whole weekend. Try to get that spark bonus. If you get that spark bonus for logging in for an entire week straight, you're going to get this consecutive connection bonus or task completed. Property Pioneer, mint 3 properties during the season, expanding your real estate portfolio. Again, this is minting. These are properties that are on the market that have never been sold, that are not coming out of a bundle, or at least it does appear to be that case from previous iterations. You have to go and mint that property. Treasure Hunter, start 5 standard treasure hunts and discover hidden treasures. I think this is more language than it is reality. I don't think you have to actually complete those treasure hunts. I think it's just a matter of starting them. The discover hidden treasures, again, I think it's colloquial and cute. Up on being a little cute here. The MetaVenture Explorer, and again, I like this idea that we're doing MetaVenture exploring. I like the idea that this happens to be targeted this time around to target a specific type of MetaVenture. At MetaVenture Explorer, visit 3 different BE shops, paid send, and explore unique upland stores. Seasonal Decorator, apply the Genesis ornament to your properties for at least 3 weeks, celebrating the season in style. Master Builder number 7 here, complete the construction of 5 structures to showcase your architectural prowess. Again, this is a little different. It's been different structures. It's been in different cities. This one is 5 structures. Economic contributor number 8 here. Burner exchange 3 items. Engage you with Upland's dynamic economy. Burner exchange. I just burned the season's pass. I burned it outside of the season. Whoa, wasted opportunity. But I just did that. There's going to be burn opportunities. Exchanging is you exchange a pass for a return. That means that you're giving up the ownership of one NFT in one way or the other, either in a burn or in a direct exchange, direct with Upland. It's not trading. It's not swapping. Economy contributor, again, we'll see. We'll see how many opportunities there are. There's limited opportunities for this throughout the season, and it may not be something that's open to everybody. It may be a competitive mint opportunity, a competitive purchase opportunity, but we'll see how this goes. This may not be the easiest one to check off. A community grower, this is one of the hardest ones for me anyways. So historically, a community grower, earn a referral bonus by referring others. The referral player or the referred player must level up. Savvy Shopper, buy 3 properties from a MetaVenture to support and engage with the community. And then number 11, frequent flyer, take 5 flights, experiencing the vast world of Upland. 5 flights, it's pricey, but if you are traveling around to go and mint, to go to different cities, do the competitive treasure hunt, or go to a city to go mint a property or two, an older city, you might get this off natively. Keep in mind, we're looking at a total of 45 days, 42, 43, 45 days. With that in mind, you are going to have times where you're just traveling for one reason or another. It may add up. The new city mint is going to be there. Jonathan Sawyer, community is growing is the easiest one. Give me a referral code. You get one for you. Yes and no, Jonathan. I mean, people who've been in the game for 10 years, no one's been in the game for 10 years, but people have been in the game for years and years and years. Some of them have gone to the people they think they're going to refer. Yes, there's ways virtually and digitally to find new people and get referrals, and I understand all of that. But it is one of those things that people have tried for and not gotten in the past. So yeah, well, if you know a magic way, Jonathan, it would be pretty cool to see that happen. But the big thing is no naughty naughties, no pay for play, no multi accounts, none of that bull crap. Let's not do that. But yeah, it is something that people have historically had issues with. If you have good luck with it, Jonathan, that sounds like you got a good thing going there. Again, all details here. Head over to the link. They're pretty easy to take a look at on these missions. The big thing here, obviously, on these Genesis missions is they don't start until the 1st of June. If you've already started doing some of them, they don't count, like me burning one the pass for Genesis season cosmetics. That's burnt on my part, so that doesn't count towards that task. Already done and finished. Again, you complete one task. It's a multiplier effect, 1.2 times multiplier of the standard floor base, if you want to use the word base dividend. The base dividend is 4.9%. 1.2 times multiplier for one task. Two tasks is 1.5. Again, over the course of the season. If you do go ahead and complete 3 tasks, it's a 2 times multiplier. 4 tasks for 2.5. 5 tasks for 3 times multiplier. Completing 5 tasks maximizes the regular reward with a 3 times multiplier. Yay! This is something that even in this set, everyone can get 5. I think I say everyone, maybe there's 1 or 2 situations where the amount of upticks you have to spend over the course of the month, month and a half, is going to exceed your dividends for some people. For the most part, if you are established and you've had an account for a little while, you are going to have enough dividends that come in naturally. If you don't spend them on other things, they will pay the small fees along the way in travel in between those meta ventures and travel, potentially to even pay those plane flights, where you're going to do this or be able to do this without pulling out dollars out of your pocket. And if you have a small enough account that this is really expensive, more than likely, the dividend amount you are going to get, or the difference in your dividend amount by going ahead and doing all the their cost versus reward, it's not going to be significantly in your benefit to increase your dividends. If coming up with a cost of 4,000 upticks over the course of a month and a half because you don't have enough dividends, spending that 4,500 upticks isn't really going to be beneficial for you in terms of what you're getting out on the back end, what you're getting out for the multiplier. So that's something that worth considering. I'm watching that internet get rough here. So definitely something worth considering long term. That we are going to potentially see. We are going to potentially see. This is more for people who are a little bit established. Maybe if you started up one last week, don't cry, don't get concerned, don't fear if you don't get 5 tasks done. But again, this is something that active players, it's pretty easy to get those 5 tasks done. Game Fund earnings system. Again, we have seasons. The seasons the 1st to the 15th. There's 44 total days for Genesis season. There's 17 days of the in-between time before we get into sizzle season, which is in the heat of the summer. Gear up and dive into Upland's Genesis season, complete missions, climb the leaderboards, and watch your earnings grow as you conquer each task. Again, you get all 11, you get 3.1 times multiplier. That's a bonus. It's a bonus on top of what we had previously gotten for our 14.7 annualized dividends. The 14.7 annualized dividends, what you get for finishing 5 tasks. You get all 11 done. Again, you get that 0.1% bonus over the course of the year, or annuitized for the year. But of course, is definitely something that we are going to see, that there's some people, tryhards out there, who do get all 11 done, and congratulations to you who do. I'm not going to break the rules of the game of Upland to spit up a multi-account so that I can get the 11th task done. But again, if natively I stick a code on one of my broadcasts and somebody uses it, there's number 11. So maybe I'll try to see if that happens in Genesis week this year, or Genesis season this year for me. With the announcement here, obviously that's the kickoff, or the getting ready for the kickoff of Genesis season, the first on Saturday. Here's the other kickoff of Genesis season. A reminder of the ornaments contest. It's not incredibly different from what we've seen in the past. There is a little bit of depression here on my part when I look at the ornament contest. I'll get into some of the details of why it's a little depressing for me comparing last year to this year. But let's take a quick look. We're excited to announce the launch of our Genesis Season Ornament Challenge. Each ornament placed on a property within a collection will earn a player 1 point, but only properties in completed collections will count. So again, this cannot be a run-of-the-mill regular property. You have to build a structure first. You have to put the right season's ornament, that's Genesis season, on that structure. You have to actually decorate it. It has to match the structure type. And that's 1 point. The more times you do that, the more points you get. You have to have plenty of properties to be to the top of the leaderboard. You have to have plenty of ornaments to be to the top of the leaderboard. And you have to have structures that are already built. Big consideration there. So now that we're in our 3rd season, now that we're in our 3rd ornament contest, I mean, people are kind of catching on. It's important to build the structures now, and to build them in areas that you can put them into a collection so you can get all the points. You can potentially climb to the top of leaderboards, and we'll talk about the prizes that you're going to get at the end. Good to see you, Ninja. Good to see you, KO. So let's get into the details here. Obviously, the first at 9 a.m. PT running to July 15th, 9 a.m. PT. We know this. We know this. It's the same timing as the season as a whole. Each ornament that you do collect throughout the season, make sure it's a Genesis ornament. Get it put up. Whether you put it on the beginning or the end, it's going to count towards the final leaderboard. But there's weekly leaderboards along the way, so keep that in mind as you do go throughout the season. All right. The Genesis Season Ornament Challenge is open 1st through the 15th. Had that discussion. We looked at that. How it works. Open to all Genesis Season ornaments. That's past and present. The challenge invites participants to place their ornaments on properties within a completed collection. Each ornament placed on a property within a collection will earn the player 1 point, but only properties in completed collections will count. There are going to be a few different leaderboards. This is the same as last time. There's an Uplander and Pro has one leaderboard. Directors have their own leaderboard. Executives and chief executives all in one leaderboard. Having the differential leaderboards means you're competing against people who have like account sizes. Go figure. Uplander doesn't have to compete with someone who's a chief executive who's been collecting ornaments since there's been ornaments in the game. Prizes. We're adding excitement with weekly giveaways. Every Thursday, we'll take a snapshot of the standings to determine the weekly winners. There are going to be 10 a week in each of the 3 leaderboards, 0.5 spark to each of those 10 individuals. So congratulations to anybody who gets in that way. I mean, 0.5 spark, aka 50 sparklet, is not a thing to be sniffed at. A lot of people have done a lot for Spark or doing a lot for Spark. Good to see a Vulgar Uplander. A lot of people do a lot for Spark right now, and they will continue to do so. So not a bad prize. Again, 10 players randomly selected of the top 50. Season rewards. First place, 1 property from a rare collection in a city that will be open during Genesis Season 2024 and 0.1 spark. Keep in mind. We don't know what the Genesis season city is going to be. We know it's going to be minted live from Las Vegas. If you're in Vegas during Genesis Live, you get to mint with other people in the room. If you're not going to be at Genesis Live, you get to mint from your house and potentially see broadcasts from Genesis Week and see what other people are doing. And maybe your internet's better than mine at Genesis Week because historically we have shared internet, and I don't control that. I don't control the speed of that internet. So maybe you are in a better minting position right from your house, wherever you are on the globe. So you will have the opportunity to participate there, of course. And a rare collection property is nothing to snivel at. 1 rare property collection property could be yours at first place. Second place through 11th place, you get an exclusive badge and exclusive collection properties from a city that will be open during Genesis 2024 season. Top 25, a Genesis season block explorer. So everyone in the top 5 gets a Genesis Week block explorer. Better deal for the first place, obviously, with that 0.1 spark and the rare property. It is important to note, in the event of a tie at any position on the leaderboard, the winner will be determined by random draw order. I don't know if that's fair. I mean, what is fair anyways, but I don't know if that's fair. I think what we should do is some type of competition. I mean, I don't know, rock, paper, scissors. I mean, who can tell the best Miles joke, something. But yes, random. Random is the way this is set. Snapshots, weekly snapshots are done on Thursdays between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. They won't tell you when, so just be prepared. And then the end of the season, July the 15th, 9 a.m. PT is when the season ends. Look at this, the Genesis 2024 badge, and there's that block explorer, Genesis 2024. We're thrilled to announce and introduce the latest Genesis ornaments in Upland. I'm not as excited to see them, and that's not because Upland did anything super offensive. It's because they did something I liked more previously. Keep in mind that we do have UGC ornaments now in the game of Upland, which means all of the people who choose to generate UGC, the people who are designing and building and putting out factories in the game of Upland and staking their spark to have those ornaments built, they can be making Genesis season ornaments. They take a while for approval. So if you want Genesis season ornaments, you may have had to apply for them a while ago to have them now. But it is pretty cool that we have those direct from the players. We no longer have to have these contests where people submit these designs and a winner is chosen either by vote or by Upland's team. We don't have to do that anymore because we have this ability. We have the UGC ornaments. However, however, I liked the ornaments. I liked seeing what the ornaments were. I liked the individuals getting those the epics, and it was pretty cool to see it happen. Because we don't have that this year because we have the UGC. We've got some pretty plain Jane, at least by my iteration or my understanding, pretty plain Jane looking ornaments. And then one other thing on these ornaments that I want to point out is it's on a theme. And the theme is fun, but I love the hodgepodge last year. I love that, one designer put in this and another designer had an interpretation of Genesis season or Genesis week did this, and that they're all official from Upland. I hit that light pretty hard. They're all official from Upland, but they're all different. I love that. Let's take a look at what Upland's coming up with. Oh, Sparklet gives you wings. And that's Sparklet gives you wings. And notice it looks like they're putting some circuit board here. Wow, tech. It was the tech there for a reason. Is it a artifact of the AI? Did the AI just take that interpretation up and was like, okay, we're just gonna go with it? I mean, we don't know. So maybe this idea of the printed circuit board overlaid on the structure, I'll be honest, it actually is kind of cool. I think it's the coolest part of this whole ornament. The Sparkle gives you wings logo on the top of the structure. It's not as exciting to me as a printed circuit board, to be 100% fair. But what's interesting about this is we don't know whether that's an artifact of the AI, or if this is something that Upland really specifically wants to drop to us as a hint, or it's going to tie into the theme or something of that nature. I mean, if you ask me, I don't know unless they're making a partnership with a chip manufacturer or a computer manufacturer. It looks like it might just be a general comment on the technology of it all. I don't know, but we'll see in a couple weeks here. You'll also be able to get started with the following Genesis season ornaments, and they're already available in the game of Upland. They've already been sold. You can buy them through secondary shops. I do have an ornament shop. Other people have ornament shops. Buy on the secondary. Keep in mind, this is a market that tends to have the prices go up temporarily and then fall after the season. Again, you don't have the use case. You can still use them, but you don't have the use case of being entered into a contest after the season's over. So if you're buying a bunch now, keep in mind you're buying high. If you think you're going to sell them later, you're probably going to sell low, especially if it's shortly after the end of the season in question. Just a consideration, but it's also great to have them. In my case, I did not sell all my ornaments from one season to the next. I have Genesis ornaments from last year. I have to figure out which property I'm going to put them on. I already have a list of my collection properties that have structures on them. When I've been building new structures, I'm putting them onto collection properties that don't have structures yet. That's, again, a key thing with this mentality, with this contest that continues to roll and be a part of the game from season to season. So we'll keep an eye out on that. We'll just write down here. I don't have to read everything here, but do go and take a look. Anything that is and has been a part of the Genesis season typically or technically last year, write down the list. Look at them all. Look at them all. Look at them all. Look at them all. A little more. A little more. A little more. All the way down. All the way down. Oof. And there we are. So we can definitely say that there are a number of options here. What we did see previously is if you had a structure that was approved, you're going to see that some of these structures have a version for every different structure type. So you could have Genesis 2024, an apartment, on a luxury modern house, on the luxury ranch house, micro ranch, small town house 2, townhouse. Those are all options there. We do have other structures, other ornaments that were only built for one structure type. That was the contest ornaments. We did see that. And we also see that there are a bunch, there are a bunch of these structures of these ornaments that count that are UGC ornaments. So we'll see that as well. So there's the list. Take a look. Get ready, set, decorate. More than a contest. This is a way to celebrate the season. We like Genesis Week. It is one of the most important parts of the Upland calendar. Genesis season as an extension is right up there as well. So we do want to celebrate. So get those ornaments up just for the point of saying, hi, happy Genesis season. Once the leaderboards are live, players will be able to check them below. Well, guess what? They're not up because we're not in Genesis season, but that will be added to this announcement when that's live, once we are inside of Genesis season after the 1st of June. Ooh, let's get back to some more Genesis stuff. Genesis season pass time. It's time once again for that fantastic opportunity in the cosmetic space, the cosmetic season pass. This is our chance to get your hands on some fantastic cosmetics to make your profile really pop. They did something interesting this time around, and I commend them for it. The team of Upland. It is something that I've said is powerful, is extremely powerful inside the game of Upland. It's extremely powerful outside the game of Upland. You've got to do it right. You can't do it inauthentically. And Upland didn't jack the price of the cosmetic pass this season around, but this season or this time around, but they did give a little bonus, a little extra in there. So we'll get into that. If you're a real collector, a real collector, there are going to be some rare gold passes to collect for the posterity and for the future of the game, and to tell the story of the first time you could get a special collector's edition of a collectible pass, a cosmetic pass. Again, the idea of keeping it, holding on to it, not burning it. Upland's already kind of flirted with this idea of telling people, that the pass itself, so it has mint numbers, and already kind of hinting that it could be something people hold on to and collect. Now they're giving people an actual version. Hey, you can burn this version, but you don't want to. You want to put that up on the wall. That's the special edition. That's the one that got signed. Obviously, no signatures here, but that's the one that is something different than the stock and standard. Check out the full details here. Look at the big detail, I think, is the little bit here on the gold. Gold season pass. This is the first time we've done this. Look at this. It's pretty cool. Sparkle gives you wings, and obviously it's gold here in the back. And here. Look at. See what I see? See what I see? What we do have right here at the bottom of that, it looks an awful lot like it's a live connector or a ribbon strip connector, or otherwise open contact on a circuit board, or it's something that is going to be tied into an electronic. This is the second time we've seen this repeated, or we've seen this allusion to a circuit board repeated. Is this for a reason? Is it a way of Upland celebrating games in the game of Upland, gaming in the game of Upland? Well, keep in mind, Matilda, their hard launch is tied in here with Genesis Week this year. Genesis is going to be or Genesis Live is going to feature Matilda, and I expect Upland's going to really be pushing the games and pushing the computing and keeping this whole idea of the technical aspects of it. So this may be another tie, since we have the printed circuit boards on our ornaments, since we have this little piece. I'm going to do a little magic swirly with my mouse. This little piece down here, that is something that I'm going to watch out for as potentially a covert or a hidden theme here for Genesis Week this year. Season Pass overview. Again, weekly cosmetic drops. Drops are going to be on Tuesday. If you burn it before the season starts, you can get every single drop. If you wait till later in the season, after the week 2 or 3 or 4, you're only going to get the following drops. You don't get retroactive. You don't get the earlier drops if you weren't there on time. So keep that in mind. It's definitely worth doing so. Cost of this cosmetic pass that you could either burn or keep as a collectible, $6.99. Start date is Wednesday the 29th of May, 9 a.m. PT. I've already bought one. I've already burnt one. Availability is going to be available all season long. The total mystery drops, 6 mystery drops. Whoa, I don't know how exciting the mystery drops are going to be, but 6 mystery drops. Each week, a snapshot of eligible players is taken on Tuesday at 9 a.m. PT. Only players who have activated their season pass, that means they burnt it, by this time will receive the week's cosmetic drops as well as a special badge for the season. Oh, at least I'm going to get my season badge. That'll put me at 9. Yay, yay. A single pass burn per season is sufficient. Additional burns are worthless. So one burn, one pass, you get the drops every week. And again, you are going to get every subsequent week of the season. You burn a week 1, all the season, or burn before the first Tuesday, all season long is what you're going to expect. Here is the badge. Look at that. Genesis 2024. The sparkle gives you wings is pretty obvious here as a motif we've talked about before. The key features: exclusivity. Items received through the season's pass are unique to the season and cannot be obtained in any other way. You can't trade them, sell them, buy them. 3 years down the line, there's not a store where you can buy them. You are going to earn them and keep them on your account accordingly. You want OG status, you're going to want to have the 24 seasons in 5 years. When we're talking about 2029, you can say I was in the game in 2024. That's essentially what those badges are. No other way to get them. They're non-tradable. The cosmetics are non-tradable. The special background that was only available in Genesis season 2024, you're not going to be able to get that in 5 years. That means that if you have that, whatever the background is, or the little widget, or the animated property card, you got it from being in the game at the right time by paying the $6.99 because you didn't get it from anyone else any other way. Mystery drops. Cosmetic items are dropped every Tuesday with specifics remaining a mystery until the drop, adding an element of surprise anticipation. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. The 6 mystery drops means there's going to be 6 Tuesdays in the Genesis season where we're going to have drops, where we're going to get cosmetics. Irreplaceability. If a player misses a weekly drop, there is no way to obtain that. No retroactivity, no, oopsie, I didn't burn it in time. None of those excuses. You get it or you don't. That's the way it is. Last season's highlights. Were there highlights? Yeah, it was okay. I was okay with the steampunk. I was okay with the robots. I liked it. I hated that I didn't get more flowers than I did. Tell me blossom season. You know it's Sakura season. You know it's the time of those cherry blossoms, beautiful and bright, white and pink, maybe some light purple. But you didn't give it to me upland. So let's do this right. Let's do Genesis week right this year. Let's do Genesis season right this season. I'd love to see it. But yeah, the passes for Blossom season, not a lot of flowers in there. Definitely worth noting. The Genesis season pass offers Upland players a unique and time-sensitive opportunity to acquire exclusive cosmetics, enriching their gaming experience, and personalizing their in-game presence. Again, these are things that you can turn on, you can keep. If you earn it this season, you can have it in 3 months or 6 months or 2 years and continue to elect to show one versus the other. It is a way of differentiating your profile, and it is a way of saying, hello, I was here then. And we will see that likely next year, the year after, where you're in the right season, you're in Genesis season, you can put something that's kind of themed for Genesis season, but it's not this year's, it's last year's, and we'll see how that builds into the culture as we move into the future iterations into future years. Don't miss out your chance to secure the rare items and enhance your Upland persona. They're here and here now, and they won't be here in the future. Again, first drop is going to be next Tuesday. That is before I fly, but I will be getting my sleep that night to keep ready to fly in for Wednesday. I do have to say it. I've said I was going to say it all the time until it was the real end, and we have a real end. The real end in sight is here. That end is Tuesday. This is me vamping for date Tuesday. The 4th, 9 a.m. PT. We're gonna see that get removed. We're gonna see that pass the G Week Live or the Genesis Live event tickets on the UpX store being removed from the UpX store in the game of Upland. Make a decision, man. If you can make it, you can make it. I'd love to see you. Think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think there's going to be so much that you're going to see in person that you won't see if you don't come. That's Uplanders. That is news and information. That is shaking the hand of Dirk or Don. They are relatively friendly people. I say relatively. I really mean very. I mean, it is something to watch out for. You know how many hugs you give other Uplanders, but the staff is very friendly. They definitely do want to meet other Uplanders. And again, for the most part, your opportunity to meet people, they are not headed to Genesis Week. For the most part, people aren't going to Genesis Week unless they want to meet other Uplanders. So it's a great opportunity to do that as well. That's my punt. That's my pitch. $100 for is a ticket. That is 100% worth it, at least in my approximation. Don't buy that ticket instead of buying or paying for the rent or buying dinner for the family, buying food in the house. Don't do that. But if you're in a position where you could spend $100 on something that is not necessary, is not that important, or not that upload isn't, but you can buy this. You can spend $100 instead of spending it somewhere else. You can afford to travel in. You can pay for the hotel. You can afford all those things. I think that you're going to feel like you got a decent value out of it because I see it. It's a decent value. 3 meals in Vegas, great deal. A night of drinks on the Thursday, depending on what you're drinking, that might pay the $100. I mean, that's a joke, not a joke. Drink responsibly. All of those things always need to remind people to do so. But depending on what you're drinking in Vegas, and again, my experience in Vegas says in 2.5 hours, I could drink more than $100 worth of drinks. Worth considering there. And then again, on Friday night, we're gonna do this amazing after party put on by Upland with go-kart racing, with additional prizes along the way, huge prizes. Sparklet being given out between 1 and 5 Sparklet. We have ultra rare properties being given out as prizes. We have additional prizes. We have people competing in different ways. We have a game show that's going to be there. The finishing, the places that you finish on the go-karts on Friday night, that's going to potentially put you in line for different additional prizes. There is a lot going on at Genesis Week this year, live in-person event. At Genesis Week, just sitting on your bum from your house, participating, competing in a contest, that's going to be a thing. We're going to get more details in the next 2 days. Be ready for it. Get excited. Get ready for Genesis Week 2024. But if you're going to go to a live in-person event, you're also going to be having panels and seeing the players really highlight what they've done over the year in the game of Upland in booths. You're going to see people highlighting in the hackathon contest what they can do and what they're going to do potentially in the future of Upland, and then potentially earning some money to help support that growth and that building of that project. So very much looking forward to that. The Uplander of the Year award, the Broadcaster of the Year award, the Designer of the Year award, all super important. It's that brass ring to reach for, but at the same time, it's more about recognizing the people who've already done it. It's not even a matter of, hey, here's your reward, you did a great job. It's a matter of, hey, you earned this reward. I don't see you asking for it. And again, some people ask for it, but I don't see you asking for it in general. Here's the prize. Here's your reward. You earned it. It is a way to show Upland not only that we care about the people who are helping push the game of Upland along and that we enjoy having these people in the community, it's also an opportunity to highlight that this is happening in a broad sense, that there is a lot of life and vibrancy in the game. There are a number of designers who put a ton of work into designing UGC in the game, into designing official layer 1 assets that Upland puts out through contests. And it is an opportunity to potentially, if you nominated someone, to feel like you have that input in the game of Upland. You told Upland something. This is the person I think is the Upland of the Year, and to see that come into fruition, to see someone get rewarded for it. So I think there's a lot going on in Genesis Week. I didn't even list half of it. I didn't even talk about any secret parties. I didn't even talk about the idea that some of my favorite Uplanders are going to be there. I'm looking forward to meeting new people for sure. It's not a matter of blinders. It's not a matter of this is my friend and you're a stranger. It's a matter of we're all going there to meet other uplanders and to be a part of the events as a whole. If you are going to have some questions and you're not going to be live in person, some of us broadcasters, not all of them, because I did have an interview with Too Stupid to Win, and the one and only thanked me later about their plans to broadcast, and they weren't too excited about it or too interested. They are going to definitely broadcast from Upland Studios on Thursdays. I'm gonna broadcast from Upland Studio on Thursday, as is More Cheese. So looking forward to seeing all of that go down. Looking forward to being part of that along the way, of course, but very much so. Looking forward to meeting people who I've met before and those who I don't know yet. So big motivator to go if you aren't going yet, to meet other Uplanders along the way. Look at that. UGC ornaments, or well, UGC ornaments. Yeah, I guess that is what I want to say. UGC ornaments kind of dovetail in here with the fact that we just got our royalties yesterday. We had a UGC contest, or not a contest, an ornament contest, where there is a number of UGC items in there. I kind of had this thought yesterday or this morning or into today, where hey, you know who's really gonna benefit from this, from that 5% royalty? People who are manufacturing structural ornaments, because they're gonna get bought and sold right before a season. They're gonna get bought and sold right after that season. Next season, they're gonna get bought and sold right before that season. Again, not every single one. People do hold on to many of them, but then you're gonna have that get bought and sold afterwards. So to see that on an annual basis, that is a type of asset that has a built-in churn. There's a reason why it's changing parties, changing hands. It's a contest. We have plenty of people who are going to go ahead and buy and sell every single season, aka they're not holding on to these structural ornaments year round. With that in mind, we are going to likely see that if you have some structural ornaments, you can make the decision. You're going to get them put up on the market, or you're going to turn around and try to sell them during the peak season, the season when people are trying to acquire structural ornaments of that type. That is going to be a part of highlighting and a part of holding up and building up meta ventures. So that's kind of exciting to see that be tied in. And again, 5% a year, again 2.5% of every sale. I say 5% because there's a buy and there's a sell on most of these structural ornaments. So 5% of whatever that going market rate is of your ornament. It's not the be all end all. It's not the reason why you do the thing. You do the thing for the original payment, but it's a cool little bonus along the way, especially if people really like your ornament. You only made so many of them. You make them years ago, and people are still moving them around. It's cool to still take a little piece of that every time that changes hands between parties. So we looked at all three things, all tied to Genesis season. Obviously, Genesis season started on Monday, June 1st. We have a couple other little hints that have been done along the way. A couple hints, obviously, we know we have a new city coming for Genesis Week 2024. We know that we are going to be seeing potential expansion sometime in the next couple of weeks. We know that we are, what's the last piece that? Oh, we know that we are going to have some announcements to give us more information that we don't even know yet for Genesis Week. So we're kind of on pins and needles. We're kind of, breathing in, holding that breath a little bit, and waiting for that announcement. Live stream time with the one and only Light It Up Dan. This is the second week in a row. It looks like Dan is back. I mean, as far as what is Dan's role? Is Dan, full-time, part-time? Is Dan doing these streams with Upland? I don't know. And I think that the answer's kind of been like, this is a thing we're doing. Enjoy it if you like it. And I think that's what this is. If you like it, enjoy it. If it changes and we see Dan as official CM, I think there was some questions and people have said things and people like one CM versus another CM. But realistically, there was a lot of people who enjoyed, Light It Up Dan. They enjoyed Light It Up Dan in the broadcast, in the races that he had done, live correspondence, people interacting with the Upland team, theoretically, or a member of the Upland team during an event. They could win a prize, but they're also doing it for fun. That was the essence of what I had at the top of the list for successes for Light It Up Dan. And if he's going to keep doing these, I think it's great. I think it's great, and I would love people to keep their eye on it. Again, keep in mind that regardless of thoughts about the past or any questions or any thoughts about one CM versus another, what is fun about this is it's fun. These events are not meant to I don't know, they're not meant to be information sharing. We have seen little tidbits, little Easter eggs get dropped in the past, but that's not what they're there for. They're there for uplanders to interact with other uplanders, in between the comments and the voice, and sending messages and seeing what other people have to say in the voice, not voice, in the text notifications, and obviously to listen to a member of the team as they announce and call the races, or just talk about the generals of Upland at the time without getting into too many details about specifics. With that, I think we're headed into Genesis week. I think we're well there. Genesis season starts on Saturday. Genesis week starting on Monday, more than likely. The announcement's not officially here, but there's a lot to come. There's announcements that still need to be made. Announcements about the speaking panels. Announcements about the panels. The booths. There we go. The booths while at Genesis Live, and then so much else about the contest. So much else about the rest of how Genesis Week 2024 is going to work. And for tonight, let's take a look at a couple things. The last referral code from last time, and probably was referral code got me last time. Oh yeah, it stopped King Cody from getting all 15 last time. 11 this time. Yeah, I agree. That is the hardest one for most people to get. And yes, the concept of adding Gold Pass into the variable. Yeah, I mean, it is a cool concept. It is a cool concept in that, people are looking for making this pass a collectible. Is a pass in of itself a collectible? I would argue maybe, but not as much as people think, because it's an open edition. So I could mint 10,000 of them, and they could keep going. But realistically, being able to have one that we say, oops, this is the golden ticket, this is the collection version, and hold on to that long term as a status symbol. I was in the game when, or I want to turn around and trade that with somebody or sell that to somebody else. I definitely see that as a, hopefully it isn't, but as a way to incentivize people to crack a pack and see what they get, because there's only one type of card in the pack, and that is the passes, and they only have use case for a single pass during the season. So, maybe not crack a pack, but if you do get lucky when opening and you get a gold, obviously decide whether you're going to sell it or hold on to it. But I wouldn't burn that gold. That's not what it's there for. It's there as a collectible, and buy another one if you can afford it, for the past, for the burning. With that, for the night, I'm going to say thank you so much. Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. PT. We do this thing. We do this in Discord. We do this in the Plaza, Tuesdays and Fridays. We do this on YouTube. We're all over the place, including Upland Discord chat and voice. If you are in Upland Discord chat voice, thank you for being part of the original method of dissemination. That means you get a reward. Congratulations. Your reward is, please feel free to unmute your mic. We have an after show. People are welcome to be part of that conversation. The floor is yours.